going to talk through this first video is just talking about the basics of the guitar. And so when I use the word fret a lot, and so these metal pieces here are called frets. And when I talk about, let's say you finger the 3rd fret, that means when I press down, I'm going to say this is the 6th string. The strings go 1 through 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when I press down the 3rd fret on the 6th string, I'm pressing right behind that 1, 2, 3rd metal bar. And what that does is it stops the string vibrating right at that point. And that's how we get the different notes. On the 4th fret, I press down and it raises the pitch a little bit. Just a little bit of terminology. When I use the term up and down, and so when I talk about a pitch and going up, I'm going to go up the neck and the pitch goes up. Up a string is up a string, down in elevation but up in pitch. So just if I ever use that, just to clarify before I even get there, because I don't really think about it anymore when I say it. So frets here almost never referred to, but this is the nut that the strings go through, and down here is the bridge. Almost never refer to it, but just so you know the pieces. The sound hole, I might refer to it as far as where on the guitar you're strumming. I'm going to use a pick for a second. When just so you know, the closer to the bridge that you strum, the more kind of tinny and metally the sound gets, and the closer, the further up the neck that you get, then kind of the warmer the sound gets, and that can be good or bad, just depending on what you're looking for. So we have the nut, we have the bridge, we have the sound hole, frets, and so the next thing I want to kind of talk about is, if we can have the other is my posture. And so as I hold the guitar, I'm a pretty big guy, but I've seen people, the neck, for some, depending on how your stature, might be a little bit long, and let's say you're holding it this way, and what I don't want to have is, what you don't want is your arm kind of tucked in here and real close to the neck. We want to be as perpendicular to the neck with your arm as you can be. And if I'm taking the guitar away, I'm just going to set it over here for a second, and I'm sitting, I don't want to be all scrunched over the guitar. I want to have some relatively decent posture with the guitar and be comfortable. So I'm going to bring the guitar back to me, and in that. So if you're looking at my hands are just huge, right? And my thumb goes over the top, and I use that thumb for some things. Generally, you want your thumb sort of to be at this position to your fingers, almost like you're gripping a tennis ball, right? And so, like I said, my hands are big, your hands may be smaller, but generally that's how you want your fingers to be. So I've covered quite a few little things. I've talked about pieces of the guitar. I've talked about posture, and that's really important. This part of your hand, I know that some rock stars kind of get into where they're fingering things way down here, and it eventually works for them. And if you know, it might look cool, but you'll end up fighting some of your fingering later. It's just best to be a little more precise in how your hand position and your arm position are. You can at any point just comment on the YouTube, and or send me an email at dan.bullis@peopleschurch.com. If you got any questions, I'd be happy to answer. And I think that's it for now. Thanks.